Question here is, if the student will take some classes through dual enrollment at De Anza, will the grades be re-included in their GPA? So I just answered that question, right? It will not be included in our transcript. However, if they are taking a course outside, they will report that on their college application. Colleges will then recalculate their GPA with the courses that are taken outside, okay? If that student gets a pass instead of a grade, how will that affect her GPA? We don't give passing here unless it's a PE class, right, for a student gets injured, and at that time there's no like weight to a pass fail. Obviously if you fail you just don't get credit, but again a pass doesn't negatively impact a GPA. So hopefully that answers that question. All right, let's see, do we have some more? Can students change AP US History to US History during the semester? No, they cannot. So the courses that your students select are year-long courses, okay? Again, when they're selecting their courses, we get a total number, okay? Like, wow, there's 300 students that want to take AP US History and 100 students want to take US History. So we make sure we have enough sections to accommodate the 300 students and to accommodate the 100 students. What we don't account for are the students that might want to switch mid-year, just because, again, we offer year-long courses. So again, that's why we encourage the conversation. We want to make sure students are knowing what they're getting themselves into. Talk to the teachers, look at the resources, right? AP US History is actually one of our hardest courses here. A lot of reading and a lot of writing. And students aren't expecting that when they go into the course. So again, if they're not planning on majoring in history or they don't have that passion for it, don't take it, okay? Again, you want to take and challenge yourself in areas that you're interested in and passionate about. So that is that question. You cannot change courses mid-year. Any others? Yes, here's Ms. Emmert.
Thank you. If a student takes AP economics in the 9th grade, does he need to take AP economics in the 12th grade? And pardon me, that was taking the exam, the AP exam in the 9th grade. The exam is optional. It is not a graduation requirement. So if a student wants to take the exam 9th grade, okay. However, in the 12th grade, they're going to have to take an economics class, regardless of how they did on the exam in 9th grade. I also have a question. Does students, they can only choose one class per subject per year? That is correct. That is what we share. Thanks. So they want to do 2 sciences. I'm sorry, FUHSD does not allow that. And could students get credits in a community college for the 11th grade? Students only get Cupertino credits for Cupertino classes. So we do have a couple of dual enrollment classes that are taught here at Cupertino. So if it's Law 2 or it's a transitions to college, then the students will get Cupertino and get De Anza credits. Okay, it has to be one of those pathways. But if a student is just taking something that they want over at community college, that is totally fine, but Cupertino is not going to award them any credits for it.
Okay, we have some questions here. We have about 4 of them, and they're all about prerequisites for classes. Like, what's the minimum grade to move on to the next level of this math class? Another one is, for 10th grade, what are the prerequisites for the following AP courses? And the next question is AP Physics 1 a prereq for AP Physics C? So as I shared on the previous slides, we have a list of recommendations for advancement. For these questions, those answers are there, right? It will give you the minimum grade. And again, they are just recommendations, right? We understand that maybe students had a hard year because they overextended themselves. Maybe their grades are a little bit lower. But the department chairs have talked to their teachers and they say, general rule of thumb, like who's taking this class and who's successful, right? I can give an example for AP Physics C. Oftentimes for students in AP Physics C, students will take that class. It's strongly encouraged that students have already completed Calc BC. in order to take that class, right? Again, that doesn't mean you can't take it if you haven't completed Calc BC. You can take Calc AB and still do relatively well. However, that student might have to work a little bit harder, right, to get the desired grade that they want, okay? So again, that is all on the recommendations for advancement for math, science, art classes, right, language classes, it's all there. There's another question over here about grade redemption, right? So my student got a D for semester in algebra. How can they be eligible in college? So great question. So for our math classes, right, you obviously know you need, students know they need C's or better in order to be eligible for college. For math, the UCs and CSUs have a rule where if you get a D first semester, but then second semester, you end up earning a C or better, that validates the deficient grade first semester, okay? So again, the only negative side of it is that D grade will lower their GPA, but again, it will not prevent them from taking the higher level the next year. So again, if a student gets a D first semester in math, also language, world language applies to this rule, okay? They get a D first semester, a C or better second semester, that validates first, okay? Oftentimes students too, maybe they wanna increase their GPA, they can do that even though they're already validated. We just encourage that if they are interested in that, they can take it outside at a UC approved institution. If they repeat the course for that deficient grade, the UCs and CSUs will take the higher grade. And again, that's only for the D or F grades, okay? So also we have summer school. We offer summer school for Algebra 1, geometry, our history classes, our English classes. And so if a student happens to get a D or an F in those, they can redeem themselves and take summer school with our district. It's housed at Fremont High School. Okay, and they can sign up for whatever semester that they're deficient in. Usually we have conversations with our students when we're reviewing our transcript towards the end of the year, and we notify them of that opportunity. Okay, looks like we have some more questions over here.
Okay. For fine arts, what are the options outside of school? You don't get credit for classes taken outside of Cupertino. If you want fine art credit, you take a Cupertino fine arts course. That kind of goes with if a student chooses to be a TA, they cannot choose to be a TA right now. They have to wait until next school year, so August, to get the form that they have to fill out. On that form, they're going to put who is that teacher that they're going to be working with. And that teacher is going to be sent the form, and they're going to say, oh yeah, I definitely want to be having this student as my TA. Or if the teacher's like, wait, I've never spoken with this student, they're just going to cancel that. So any student that wants to be a TA, we all advise they need to go talk to the teacher in person. Don't send emails, have a personal conversation, to make sure that, yes, that the teacher would like to have them. The catch with that is it's dependent upon when the student has a free period. So teacher that they really want to work with, maybe they only want that student 5th period, but the student doesn't have a free 5th period. That means there's no TA during that time. There was also a question, we definitely want all athletes to pick free 7th. That is a choice on the forms. And we want all of our students to have a conversation with their current math teacher if they are thinking that they want to skip or they want to move from the green pathway to the blue or the other way around. And students, colleges, when they say 2 years in a world language, it's not the physical year, it's the level. So if we have students that did Spanish in the middle school, started freshman year in Spanish 2, that's the second level, that's the minimum requirement. So your students can be done. right then. They don't have to continue if they don't want to. Okay, they've done the minimum. And if a student wants to take one of the career technical courses that are offered on the other campuses, they need to have a conversation with their counselor. So for the parent that wrote that question, I'm your counselor, so please send your student to come see me about the principles of marketing at Fremont High School.
All right, so we're gonna be wrapping up here. It's almost 7 o'clock. Do you have a couple to answer to?